It is 9:15 a.m. in London. The markets have been officially open for over an hour. Normally, this is the busiest, most chaotic time of the global silver day. This is when the London fix happens, the daily auction process that sets the global benchmark price used by miners, refiners, and industrial giants to settle billions of dollars in contracts. Normally, the arbitrage desks are screaming, the vaults are moving metal, the algorithms are hunting for liquidity, but for the last 60 minutes, I've been staring at a screen that looks like a patient who has flatlined, and I have been making calls. I called the LBMA headquarters general line, the number that is supposed to be staffed by the governing body of the world's largest physical market. It went straight to voicemail, no reception. No redirect, just a deadline. I called the trading desk at HSBC Precious Metals in London. HSBC isn't just a bank, they are the largest silver vault operator in the world. They are the custodian for the major ETFs. If silver is moving, it's moving through them. I got a voicemail. I called Scotia Mocatta's London office. The phone rang 47 times. I counted them before clicking over to a generic voicemail box that said, mailbox full. I called the vault operations manager at Brink's London facility. I've spoken with this man 3 times in the past month. He usually picks up on the second ring. Today, straight to voicemail. I reached out to my private contacts at 3 different London bullion dealers via email, WhatsApp, and Signal. Nothing. 0 replies. This isn't a holiday. This isn't a weekend. This is Monday morning, December 29th, the first trading day after the Christmas break. The markets are technically open. London should be operational. The LBMA should be issuing updates. The dealers should be responding to customer inquiries. But there's nothing. Just silence. And here's what's terrifying about the silence. This isn't just low volume. Low volume happens when traders are bored. This is 0 bids, 0 asks. London is the artery. London is where 70% of global physical silver trading happens. London is where the vaults hold the 800 million ounces that back the ETFs, like SLV. London is where JP Morgan sources the metal to settle the COMEX contracts in New York. If London is silent, if London is frozen, if London has effectively shut down without an official announcement, then the global silver supply chain hasn't just hit a snag, it has been severed. In this video, I'm going to show you the evidence of the London blackout. I'm going to explain why the stand-down order has been given. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen when New York wakes up in 5 hours to find the supply line is dead. Now, you might be asking, take twists. If the supply line is cut, why isn't the price exploding? Why is the chart flat? If there's a shortage, shouldn't silver be at $100 right now? That is the logical question. But you're applying free market logic to a market that is currently under military-grade management. Look at this comment from a viewer on yesterday's video. It hits the nail on the head. JP Morgan is not just a bank. They are the private sector arm of the U.S. Treasury. The government outsourced its strategic silver reserve to a private entity. This explains the silence in London this morning perfectly. If this were a chaotic, uncontrolled collapse, traders would be panic buying. The chart would look like a heart attack. Spikes up, halts, gaps. But we aren't seeing chaos, we are seeing discipline. That means the order came from the top. JP Morgan, acting as the proxy for the Fed and likely in coordination with the Bank of England, has issued a stand down to the London bullion banks. They have told them, do not pick up the phones, do not quote prices, do not sell a single ounce until New York opens. They are holding the beach ball underwater. They know that if London breaks out to $85 before the NYSE opens, the panic in America will be uncontrollable. They need to manage the opening. They need to control the narrative. So they killed the liquidity. Look at the charts right now. Gold is trading normally. Ticks are moving. Volume is healthy. Silver is flatlined. Dead. Artificial. They haven't halted the market. They have halted the metal. They are effectively implementing an unofficial force majeure in London, specifically to prevent a price explosion before the U.S. wakes up. This is a managed retreat. They are buying time, literally hours, to get their stories straight before the American public logs into their brokerage accounts. And it gets worse. This isn't just about traders ghosting phone calls. This is about physical lockdown. At 11:17 a.m. London time, about 30 minutes ago, a contact who works in vault operations at one of London's major precious metal storage facilities sent me this message. The message reads, effective immediately, all silver withdrawal requests are being queued pending compliance review. Management has instructed us to cite ongoing market disruption. We've been told this is not temporary. The vaults are effectively frozen. This is the second confirmation I've received in the last 24 hours. When the LBMA effectively suspended trading on December 29th, vault operators initially called it a pause to verify inventory. That was the cover story. But as of this morning, that pause has hardened into a permanent freeze, and critically, this is affecting allocated accounts. Let me explain what that means, because the distinction is vital. In the silver world, there are two types of ownership, unallocated and allocated. Unallocated means you are a creditor to the bank. You don't own silver, you own an IOU. If the bank goes bust, you get in line with the other creditors. We knew unallocated was dangerous, but allocated is supposed to be safe. Allocated means you own specific bars. They have serial numbers. They are sitting on a pallet with your name on it. Legally, that is your property, just stored in their building. But this message changes everything. If the vault operator refuses to release your allocated bars, citing force majeure or market disruption, your property rights have effectively been suspended. If you cannot withdraw it, you do not own it. You own a legal claim, a piece of paper. And legal claims can be tied up in court for 10 years, while the silver is used to bail out the system. This London vault freeze means that roughly 800 million ounces of silver, more than the entire annual global mining production, has effectively been removed from the available supply. It exists on paper. It shows up in the ETF audit reports. But it cannot leave the building. It can't flow to refiners. It can't flow to Apple or Tesla. It can't flow to you. London, the primary artery of the global silver body, has been clamped shut. While the banks in London are playing dead, the real economy in America is waking up to a nightmare. You have to understand the modern supply chain. It operates on just-in-time delivery. Factories do not keep 6 months of silver sitting in a warehouse. That's inefficient capital. They keep 2 weeks' worth. They rely on the steady flow of metal from refiners to keep the lines moving. When that flow stops, the clock starts ticking immediately. At 6:47 a.m. Eastern Time, just before I started recording this, I received a call from a procurement officer at a major American solar panel manufacturer. I cannot name the company, but they are a top 5 producer in the U.S. market. The officer's voice was shaking. He told me, "We just got notification from our silver paste supplier. They cannot fulfill our Q1 order. They cited force majeure due to inability to source silver from European markets. We have enough inventory for 11 days. If we don't get silver in 11 days, the factory shuts down. We employ 3,400 people. We have utility contracts worth $1.8 billion. I have been authorized by the CEO to source silver at any price. I offered $200 per ounce for immediate delivery this morning. I can't find anyone willing to sell. Let that sink in." In London, the screen says silver is stable, the banks are silent, the volume is 0. But in the real world, on the factory floors of America, industrial buyers are trying to bid $200 per ounce, and they are getting rejected. The price on your screen is a lie. The spot price is a ghost. The real price of silver is currently infinity, because you cannot buy it. And this is the reality that is about to collide with the New York Stock Exchange in less than 5 hours. When the U.S. market opens, you're going to see a paper price that has nothing to do with the physical reality. The algo might show $80 or $90, or they might try to paint it down to $70 to hide the panic. But the solar company doesn't care about the chart. They need metal, and they are willing to pay triple digits right now. This is the transition from a financial squeeze to an industrial crisis. When solar panels can't be made, utility contracts are breached. When medical electronics can't be made, hospitals run short. The silence in London is essentially an announcement that the global industrial supply chain has been severed. And if you think this is just a London problem, look at what just happened in Zurich. The domino nobody saw coming just fell. At 9:22 a.m. Zurich time this morning, reports began circulating that Switzerland has implemented temporary export review protocols for refined silver. This is the kill shot. Switzerland is home to Valcambe, Pamp, Argor Heraeus. They refine 40% of the world's silver. When ore comes out of the ground in Mexico or Peru, it goes to Switzerland to be turned into the bars you buy. Refining is the bottleneck. You can have all the ore in the world, but if you can't turn it into 999 fine bars, it's useless to a solar company or an investor. Switzerland controls that bottleneck. If Switzerland stops exporting, the world stops receiving silver. Why would they do this? Because they see what's happening in London. They know the London vaults are frozen. They know the supply line is cut. Switzerland is a high-tech manufacturing economy. They produce luxury watches, precision instruments, medical devices. All of these require silver. They are hoarding. They are securing their own domestic supply before the rest of the world realizes the tank is empty. This is the transition from market manipulation to resource nationalism. Every country for itself. So let's bring it back to the silence in London. The phone isn't ringing because there is nobody left to answer. The price isn't moving because the market is broken. The solar manufacturer can't buy at $200 because there is no metal to buy. The silence isn't stability. The silence is the sound of the door locking. In roughly 4 hours, the New York Stock Exchange will open. This is what I expect to happen. At 9:30 a.m., the algorithms will fire. They will try to trade a market that no longer physically exists. I expect extreme volatility. They might try one last flush, a rapid crash to $70 or $65 to try and trigger stop losses and shake out the weak hands. They want you to panic. They want you to see the red candle and think, oh no, the squeeze is over. Do not fall for it. The squeeze isn't over. The squeeze hasn't even hit the screen yet. The real squeeze is happening on the private phone lines of industrial procurement officers who are bidding $200 and getting zero. The price on the screen is now a fiction. The supply line has been cut. The vaults are frozen. The era of available silver is over. If you're watching this and you still own unallocated paper silver, you're holding a claim on a vault that just changed the locks. You have 4 hours until New York opens. If you have physical, you are your own central bank. If you have paper, you are a creditor to a bankrupt system. The silence in London is the loudest warning you will ever hear. Make your move. Subscribe.